Call the meeting of the CPRB to order, please.
Okay. All right, Braddock,
Present.
Hobart Collis, Jensen,
Here.
Moeller,
Here.
Atkins,
Here.
Schwint.
Here.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, so if I could just throw this out there too for everybody's sake, thank you for being here tonight and thank you for all of your efforts, whether it's been a couple of months or longer than that. Thank you so much, and I think we've done a lot of good things. I would like to remind the group that this is our final meeting. So there will be no more meetings after this. So no special meetings or asking for additional information. So just keeping that in mind, our discussion with items on the agenda, we need to hopefully come to a consensus on anything there if we have any questions or discussion. So just throw that out there. Item number 2, the consent calendar. Need a motion to adopt the consent calendar as presented or amended.
I make a motion to adopt the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Okay. All right, can we do a roll call, please?
Braddock.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hobart Collis, Jensen,
Yes.
Atkins.
Yes.
Schwint.
Yes.
Moeller.
Yes.
You done? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then underneath step 3 on roll call, a motion to accept correspondence for Mary.
So moved.
Second. Jinx.
Tie. Okay.
Roll call, voice vote again.
Yeah. Just
Yes.
all in favor.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Anybody opposed? All right. Okay, item number 3. Any new business?
I had just had a question about the use of electronic warrants. I wanted to ask the chief about that. Are they routinely used? And if so, what's an average sort of response time on one of those?
So they're typically for search warrants.
Yeah. And arrest warrants.
Right. They're used for, mainly the system we use is for search warrants, so we don't have to go looking for a judge in the middle of the night. Back in the day, that was common. We would find judges in interesting places sometimes. So this was to clean up that process, streamline it. It still takes a significant amount of time because writing the warrant has to be reviewed by the county. If someone from the county's attorney's office, then it goes to a judge. And in our department, it's 99% of the time that's an investigator or detective that does it. Patrol level very rarely would have the occasion to work up a search warrant. Arrest warrant's a little different, but it's mainly used by investigators. Dave might be able to share his experience. How many search warrants did you ever work out?
On patrol?
Yeah.
Oh, very few.
Right, it's just typically because of the investigator's experience in doing that. It's such an infrequent thing for a patrol officer. They would call in an investigator to do it. That's how we typically do it.
Well, the reason I asked was the reference in the case that it should be being the operative word, be possible to get one in 15 minutes. And I was wondering if that was halfway realistic.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
No, it would
Okay.
take longer for the officer to even get through the
The
paperwork.
process for that,
Yeah.
okay. And I think David has said at one point that if it was anticipated to be a significant issue, they would be more likely to go through that process than not. So what I'm hearing you both say is that it's like if it's a car, for example, it's a car. You're going to figure it's exigent circumstances and not probably go through that nightmare. Is that fair?
True. On certain instances, like there might be times where we would take the car and then get a warrant. And get, like on, say there was a homicide or something
Okay.
like that, we would do it that way because then there's the exigency is kind of gone. We've seized the car. And, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was
first. And you had a second one that we had deferred from last
Yeah.
month as well. You had asked for complaints who frequently contact police for scenarios to go through DHS or other social service agencies. I think that came up, if I recall, you had asked to have that put on the agenda last time, but one of the things I think that happened that you probably weren't aware of is that topic had come up in the past multiple times, and that had been a multiple discussion point. So it's not the first time it's landed, just for what it's worth, it's not the first time it's landed on the agenda and been discussed.
I think the reason that I asked about it was this, and if this is not, it may not be appropriate to discuss it now in open session, but just having reviewed the tapes of the most recent complaint, it seemed to me that although I did not disagree with the chief's conclusions about that.
Be careful about where you
I know,
go
that's
in
what I'm
open
saying.
session.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That I think sometimes there might be a policy that instead of saying I can't answer your question if an officer was suggested to somebody, hey, if you want to see the policy, it's online, it's available to everybody, rather than getting into a back and forth with the person about the policy, just say, hey, look it up, Because maybe the rest of it should be in closed session. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I get you.
Okay.
Okay.
I think sometimes it just seems like, and again, this is kind of dead at this point, but when there are people making repetitive complaints, I think it must be very, very frustrating to officers. And sometimes we're asking them to behave in a superhuman way, not getting frustrated in situations that would frustrate any human. Okay. But I guess my question is, if there's a specific protocol, it might relieve, and maybe there is, and I'm just unaware of it, but it might relieve a lot of frustration. So, for example, if somebody says, I want the officer's card, and there is no card, if there was a protocol that says, you got the car number, or, I want to see the policy, look it up, so that there doesn't have to be a big discussion. Anyway, that's all I was going for there.
Okay.
That we could do in
Okay.
public, in an open session. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So also added for under new business is draft of fiscal year 25 annual report. We do this every year. So Connie submitted the draft.
So this that I highlighted in yellow is after our conversation this morning, looked back a few years and apparently something happened in the copy and paste from one year to the next, that the 5-member ordinance part was not.
Included.
Yeah, so it is now.
Okay. Yeah, Connie and I talked this morning. I just happened to catch that, and I didn't know if it was a, oops, we forgot or whatever happened.
Yeah, so like the last 2 years, it's not in there. It's just the 7-member.
Yeah, the board was original, since we're talking about history. The other thing, I don't know about you all, but I kind of had the lens of, this is our final report, so is there anything else? You know, just making sure if anybody's looking at it. Not that anybody would read it, but you never know.
Oh, and then I'll just take you down quick to the
Take
end
us-
here.
take
So
us
I did
down
add
the journey.
Ricky.
Okay,
Since,
that was
yeah,
one of
I
the
had
other things, yeah. Ricky's name wasn't on the. Other comments or thoughts from members?
Nice work.
Yeah, pardon?
Nice work.
Yeah.
Connie. Connie did it.
Nice work, Bernie.
Yeah,
I do-
So are you gonna
Oh, I could.
bring up?
I can, sure.
If you, yeah.
Well, one thing I said, and I could go either way, especially at this point, because after this meeting, it's kind of irrelevant. But if I put my hat on of, I'm a member of the public and I'm reading this page would be confusing to me. If I was just trying to follow. One, we're talking fiscal year. And then two, things like where it says complaints summarily dismissed. Yes, we know why we dismiss those complaints, those particular complaints. But would the person that's reading that understand what that means? You know, so even maybe I thought, you know, an explanation, I don't know. I don't know that we need to go into a big lengthy explanation at this point on these things, but just things like that. It just seems like if somebody was trying to read through and follow, some things like that would be a little difficult. The other thing is, again, fiscal year 25, some of the complaints were filed in 24, which is how they've got the numbers of 2401, 24, whatever. Some processes took longer than others, so 2401, 2402 is a good example. So where's 2401? Well, 2401's probably was finished in fiscal year 24. 2402 took longer. That's why it showed up in fiscal year 25, you know, that kind of thing. But again, if you put on the kind of the hat of somebody else reading it that didn't know those things, it would just be a little hard to follow.
I don't think folks even would put 24 and 25 as years that would be associated with fiscal year. I didn't even know that till you just pointed that out.
Oh, yeah, the difference,
Yeah, so I don't know that it matters with the fiscal. I hear what you're saying, trying to
Yeah.
make things more clear, but I'm not sure that folks look at that and say, oh, 2406. Does
Yeah.
that mean, that must have been, do you see where I'm going? I think they just see them as random numbers, so.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would follow it or, you know, would pay that much attention, but it just, I was trying to go, okay, would I understand this page if I
You know,
didn't have the information? So that was, I mean, like I said, I could go either way with, we don't have to make any changes. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It was more just a comment on my part.
I think I understand the point, and because we reference like fiscal year 25 without saying what time period that is.
Yeah.
And maybe it's obvious for like local government purposes. I'm not sure that it is, but like some companies have their fiscal year starting on July, some start on.
August.
Yeah,
Some, it
and so
depends if
it-
you're state or if you're city and.
Yeah, you could somewhere just say parenthetical October 2024. Is that when it started?
Yeah.
Through.
I just think that would,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the fiscal year
Yeah.
for it is July 1 through June
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah.
Okay, well then,
Yeah.
So for,
The-
yeah,
Put it, the definition in,
Yeah.
that's what you're saying.
yeah, just define it somewhere. I think that's probably a good idea.
And then, Melissa, where you were talking about summarily
Put it in the
dismissed,
title. Is that a good spot?
you could,
Or
yeah, FY '25, I mean, again, we know it's fiscal year, but,
down here?
yeah.
Maybe the first title should be fiscal year 25, not FY, and then lower down it could just be FY throughout.
or put in parentheses after you define it.
Yeah.
Then- Then after that, in parentheses, FY.
FY, because
Yeah.
then you defined it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. But again, I think the idea of defining what the fiscal year is would be appropriate.
But if I put it under there,
So the next bolded activities and accomplishment for fiscal year '25, right there, thank you, Pat. We say it there, so we could even parentheses after that, at that point, just say,
How the fiscal year's defined.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after 25, after that line, after
After
2025, do parentheses, and then you could even just
July 1 to June,
30th.
yeah. July 1, 24, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that helps.
This should probably be 2025.
Yeah.
So going back to Melissa's point about the summarily dismissed, did you have something in mind about defining that, or did you want to say due to late filing or something like that, or?
It could be even something as simple as this, did not meet, like,
Criteria?
did not meet the
Ordinance
criteria, or did not meet the, because that's, otherwise, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if you're going down to summarily
and
dismissed,
just also keep in mind, so this won't be consistent with previous years then.
It's already, we changed the top though from 5 and 7
and we don't care about precedent.
members.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I get where you're going, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same.
And I think you can get rid of these numbers, then. Why do they have to be in there? If it's confusing, you think, from just a layperson standpoint?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, could you, for the summarily dismissed, excuse me, could you just put complaint summarily dismissed according to, and then just cite the code? So that they could go reference and at least have a direction just to look it up,
Dismissed.
I think so.
rather than repeating the wording?
Yeah.
With that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was,
See what it
getting at.
is, but
And I don't disagree with the numbers. Is there any reason we have to have the numbers in there?
No.
Just because was whoever
Whoever wrote-
started this way back when.
Let's think. I'm okay with taking them out too, if that makes it.
I guess they don't know about that. Yeah.
I guess the only, sorry,
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
the only reason perhaps to leave them is if they're all listed out in the first line, when you say which ones resulted in a public report, then like it refers back. But unless we're planning to delete each one, which perhaps is fine as well.
So
That
you
would be-
want to get rid of those then?
Well, if you say 13 complaints, I'm sorry, but you're right. All right, that's, if you say complaints, well, what's a complaint versus a public report versus summarily dismissed? There has to be, if you leave the numbers, I don't think they have to be in there. It just felt like when you read it that there is just a little bit of, especially with the summarily dismissed, when I looked at it, it's like, would I understand that? If I was the public, I don't know that I would.
I agree. I think it's not clear what that could mean.
Yeah.
Here's the ordinance number if you want it.
For what?
For summarily dismissed.
Pursuant to ordinance.
Eight three. I guess it's 8-8-3.
No.
And then in parentheses, capital E.
There we go.
You're good,
What
Pat.
does everybody think about the numbers versus not the numbers?
I would, they're there. I would err on the side of transparency. It makes it easier to look up.
Well, that wouldn't be too tough. So.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if you heard Dave's comment about if they're there, leave them if it makes it easier to look up. They don't have to be, but
I don't think it matters either way. Whatever.
okay.
I can see advantages to both of them, so.
I mean, bottom line is, if somebody wants to look them up, they're available.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That's it. Anything from anybody else? So, we need a motion at this point to accept as amended. It doesn't say that, but.
Well, I guess we can.
All right, I get a motion to accept the report as amended.
So moved.
Second?
Voice, roll call, voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? There we go, thank you. Old business. Any old business? Public comments.
I would like to thank you all again. I know that's repetitive, but I always try to come in and thank you for what you do. But even though you may not be aware, I do listen very carefully, and I do learn from you every time I come in hear something. And this detail that you follow through, I appreciate that. That's a dedication. And I think that the public appreciates it too. We don't see them here, but hopefully they're listening in and feeling that you've been civilian liaisons in the police department. And I hope that everyone feels comfortable approaching chief or anyone else in the police department and asking questions and just also becoming the civilians that will talk to the police. That's, I think, encouragement for everyone. But thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, board information. Anybody?
I would just like to take this moment to thank my peers, right, for the good work that's been done. I have not been on this board very long, but I have learned a ton, and you all have been really receptive of the 1,000,001 questions I've asked along the way, so I really appreciate it. It continues to affirm for me that I made the right choice to move to the community, so it's been good.
You. Anybody else?
I especially appreciate the tolerance of the people who know stuff to the to the questions, and the receptivity to the dumb questions and patience. So
No dumb questions. The conversations have been great. So I appreciated every minute of it.
All right, item number 7, staff information.
I think we can give an update on what happened at the last work session for council. I think that's appropriate. So
Yeah.
the memo that you guys presented was discussed at council meeting. And obviously, this is your last meeting. The agreement was to dissolve the board. And it's still a work in progress on what we're going to do in the future. There were some differing opinions on council, so the city manager and I will work through this. We're always going to be doing our outreach and different types of things. I think you guys know I have a pretty open door. But it's a work in progress, but there are more things to come. So, and again, I just also want to say thank you all for being here. I know sometimes it can get a little rough watching those videos and maybe scratching your head on some things, but to volunteer to do this on your own time, and it really means a lot to me. It means that you all really care, and I think it did provide a voice for the community. Sometimes not used. I wish the community had a little more involvement in it, so that's what I hope we can do moving forward, is get more of that involvement. That's going to take a lot of work on our part. And just getting out there. We do it, but we can always do better. So I hope to see some improvements in that aspect. But thanks again, I appreciate it. Thanks, Pat. You've always been pretty steady hand here the whole time I've been here, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be fired tonight. Thank you.
Glad we could accommodate.
I don't have to review any more of those. I like picking up hats.
Well,
Nice hours, right?
there'll be another invoice.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, what we're
Should
talking
just be
about
yes
is
for
the
this
chair
meeting.
gets to review things from Pat. Or Pat's firm. Let's put it that way. So, all right, item number 8. Future meetings.
No
Let's-
conflicts.
Anybody got any conflicts? All right. Item number 9. Could I get a motion to adjourn to executive session, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We are adjourned to executive session at 5:58. All right. Returning to open session at 6:36. I got in the wrong spot, so I'm doing this from memory. Could I get a motion to accept the report as written for 2501
As amended, yeah.
as amended? Yes.
I make a
Yes.
motion to accept the draft for 2501 as amended.
Thank
and
you.
forward to council.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moeller,
Yes.
Atkins.
Yes.
Schwint,
Yes.
Braddock,
Yes.
Hobart Collis, Jensen.
Yes. All right. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Nobody wants to do it. Second.
Second. All in
Did you
favor?
second first? Oh yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Come on, Pat.
Any
You can
opposed?
join in.
I can't vote.
No! Meeting adjourned,
Meeting adjourned at
6:37.
18:37.